Welcome to the Quick Start Guide for our Enterprise Management application. In this video, we'll walk you through the key features and functionalities to help you get started right away. Let's dive in. After installing the application, you'll notice that the dashboard initially displays system directories, and you won't see any information. To populate your dashboard, you have a few options. You can start by manually entering your products and organizations, or you can import them from CSV files. However, we recommend starting with a test database to familiarize yourself with the application. It's advisable to use a separate database for this purpose. So let's first create a new database. Navigate to the Utilities menu, and select Local Databases. Click the plus button on the toolbar to add a new database, and enter the name Demo. Finally, connect to this database by clicking on the button next to its name. Now, navigate to the Clear Database menu. Then, click the Demo button to generate a sample database. Take a quick tour of the main application modules. Once you're comfortable with the application using the test data, you can delete it, or switch to another one, and start entering your own data. To understand how accounting works in the application, let's implement a simple trading business process, where we buy and sell goods to determine our earnings. In this example, we will go through the following steps. Step 1. Add a group and category of products. Step 2. Add a product. Step 3. Add a supplier and a client. Step 4. Deposit money into the current account as an investment by the owner of the company. Step 5. Create a purchase order with a supplier. Step 6. Pay for the goods and post them to the warehouse. Step 7. Create a sales order with a client. Step 8. Receive payment from the client and ship the goods. Step 9. Calculate the earnings from this deal. Now, let's follow these steps in detail. Go to the Settings menu and select Directories. In the Products section, click on the switch next to the Search field and choose Category Groups. Click the plus button on the toolbar to add a new group and enter the name Gadgets. Save the group and return to the directory list. Now, select Categories and add the Smartphones category, assigning it to the Gadgets group. You can add products from different places in the application, but this time, we'll do it from the Products by Category menu. Select the Smartphones category and click the plus button. Fill in the necessary fields, such as the product name, SKU, barcode, cost, price, weight, and stock levels. Assign a supplier. Click the search button to select a supplier. In the list that appears, there will be only one supplier your organization. Let's add a new supplier right here. Click the plus button and enter the name Apple. Click the Save button and return to the list. Select this supplier. Once you've entered the information, click Save. You can also add additional data and photos in the product card. For this example, we've already added a supplier when adding the product. Now, let's add a client. Go to the Organizations, Clients menu and add a client, such as Galaxy. Remember, you can import organizations and products from CSV files, using the Import from CSV menu, in both the Organizations and Products sections. Now, let's replenish the current account, by adding funds as an investment, by the owner of the company. We'll start by adding a person, who in this case is the owner. Go to the Persons list menu, and add a person, for example, Michael Gonzalez. Once you have added the person, navigate to the Transactions tab within the Persons card. Click the plus button and select the transaction type as investment. Enter the amount, such as $10,000, in the total field and save the transaction. You can check the updated status on the dashboard, where the cash balance should reflect the added funds. Additionally, in the Finance, Bank Accounts menu, you can view the bank account details and turnover. Starting from this step, we can already receive financial reports. To do this, in the menu Finance, Financial Reports, calculate them on the first tab and view them on the other tabs. Now, let's create a purchase order with our supplier, Apple. Go to the Purchasing list menu, and add a new purchase order. Fill in the necessary details, and click Save. After saving the purchase order, you'll notice additional tabs in the purchase card. Navigate to the Specification tab, where you can add the products you want to purchase. Click the plus button, and start typing the name of the product, such as iPhone, and the application will find the product for you. The price will be set, based on the cost price, specified in the product card. Click OK, to add the product to the purchase order. Please note, that there are other methods, available to add products to the purchase order, which you can explore in the More menu. Next, let's proceed with the payment for the purchase and the receipt of goods into the warehouse. In the purchase card, navigate to the Transactions tab and add a transaction of type receipt of goods. Leave the fields unchanged and click Save. Switch to the Specification tab within the transaction, where you can see the inventory cards generated for this transaction. These cards store information about the cost, batch details, and more. Look at the reports in the Warehouse menu, for example, turnover by warehouse. On the dashboard and in the financial reports, we had 100 accounts payable and increased inventory. To pay off the accounts payable, you can either pay for the purchase directly in the purchase card or use a method that allows you to pay for multiple purchases at once. In the purchase list, click the square button on the toolbar to enable multiple selection mode. Select the purchase you want to pay for, and choose Pay Marked, from the More menu. Select the current account, from which you want to pay, and confirm. This will update the company's status, on the dashboard and in reports. Now, let's create a sales order. You can do this in the Sales list menu, but to demonstrate another method, let's create an order through the shopping cart in the Sales eShop menu. First, let's add a product photo. Click the Add Item to Cart button, and then, go to the shopping cart, by clicking the button in the upper right corner of the screen. Click Create Order, select the client, and save the order. In the sales order you just created, go to the Specification tab to ensure that the product you want to sell is added to the order. You can also explore other methods in the More menu to add products to the order if needed. If you wish to print or email an invoice to the client, you can navigate to the Invoice tab within the sales order. Now, let's proceed with the payment for the order and the shipment of goods to the client. In the sales order, go to the Transactions tab and add a transaction of type shipment. This will indicate that the goods are being shipped to the client. In the Specification tab of the transaction, you will see that the goods are written off from the inventory card, indicating the decrease in stock. On the dashboard and in reports, you will notice that the stock has decreased, and there is a receivable for the sales order amount. To pay off the receivable, open the sales order from the list by clicking on it in the first column. In the Transactions tab, add a transaction of type payment from the client to record the payment received. Once the payment transaction is added, the receivable amount will be adjusted accordingly, and the status of the company will reflect the updated financial information. To determine how much we earned from this deal, you can run the revenue margin report in the Sales Reports menu. This report will provide information on the cost and selling price, allowing you to calculate the profit. For example, if the product was purchased for $100 and sold for $130, the income would be $130, $100 equals $30. This information can also be obtained from financial reports, such as the balance sheet, where it is referred to as the profit of the current year. By following these steps, you have completed a basic trading business process in the application, involving buying and selling goods, tracking inventory, and calculating earnings. Feel free to explore the various features and functionalities of the application further to meet your specific business needs. Should you have any more questions or require assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.